thank you for tuning in. This is Jaylee's Corner. I am, of course, Jaylee, and this is my review for Queen Sugar. This is season 2, episode 6. So, yeah, today's episode was. The ending was better for me. I didn't, it was a. We'll talk about that in 1 second, but as you always know, first things first, if you have not done so already, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel. It does not cost you anything. It just lets you know when I have new content available and new videos loaded on my channel. So please subscribe. You can also share my videos, like my videos, and put a comment at the bottom. Please and thank you. So, as I was saying, this episode, it wasn't bad at all. I love Queen Sugar. The acting is great. Um, it was a good episode. I don't know why I'm acting like it wasn't, or insinuating that it might not be a good episode. But for me, I thought the ending was better than the whole episode. So, it starts off, we have Ralph, Angel, and Nova. There's like on the land, they're looking at something, and we come to find out that it was basically like a headstone that people put, at a person's gravesite, and it has all of their family's names on it, name, birth date, and the time they passed away. And as we know, Ralph Angel sometimes, most of the times, maybe all the times, doesn't, gets mad at Charlie a lot. So he's upset basically that she's not there. Because when Nova goes to take a picture of it to send to Charlie, Ralph Angel's like, why are you sending it to her? If she wanted to be here, she would have been here. And, Nova reminds him that, our sisters is making history today. Because as you know, she is starting the mill. The mill is opening that day. She's at the mill getting things together. So we see her at the mill, looking like I want to make things perfect. We see that Darla is her new assistant in her little work shirt. And that Charlie is being interviewed by someone. She thought the interviewer would be someone that she knew, but turns out it's this new guy who I don't like so far. Yeah, I don't like him. So he's there basically to give, question about the mill opening up, about her moving to Louisiana, starting this mill, and all the stuff that she's done since she's moved to, New Orleans. And, he starts asking her more questions about Davis. It's, oh, your father's death happened to coincide with the timing of the sex scandal with your husband. Where is your husband? And, Charlie kept spinning him. She's great for media. She probably has plenty of media training and probably has taught other people media training. So she's not letting him rattle her. But we can clearly see that he has some kind of agenda with the questions he's asking her. Basically. He also brings up the settlement with the little girl, with the lady. He brings that part up, and it's like he's digging for some kind of angle between her and Davis. It's less about the meal and more about, did you, do this because your husband might have been caught doing some things improper, and he keeps trying to make that the vocal point of it, and she keeps putting it back to the meal. I'm doing this in the memory of my father before he passed away. I made a promise to him, and I'm just trying to uphold that. And the reporter just keeps fucking with her. There's even a point when he's there, he's at the meal, walking through it, of course, and it's him, Remy, and Charlie. And he starts questioning Remy, like, well, when did you meet her? How did you guys meet? Was it only professional? It's like, what you praying for? And, Remy had let him know, like, well, I met her through her father. Her father was a really good friend of mine. We all kind of worked together farming. And said that her father was more like a father figure to him as well. And then oh, so you guys are like brother and sister. And they're like, well, yeah, sort of, kind of. No, but y'all, I think, y'all got together a little bit. So we ain't talking about that. But yeah, but he's still prying a little bit. And they both notice it, but they both kind of leave it alone. So that part was fine. But again, it's more of her trying to talk about the meal and leave it at that. And again, he is just trying to insinuate something else at every turn that he can get. Um, because as we know, Davis is not there. Davis, as she said, is in um, Miami. And there was a point where she was talking, well, after that part, she met her and Remy was having a conversation. She's like, a friend of mine told me that I need to take some time to myself, and I've been listening to said friend. Said friend was Remy. Remy told her, I think 2 episodes ago, that when his wife died, he had to take time to grieve that loss, and he suggested to Charlie, take time to grieve the end of your marriage. So she let him know that she's been taking time to do that. That she's also met with a therapist to talk about things, and they kind of have a moment of saying, it's really good. My hair looks crazy. It's really good to have friends, and he's the friend. So that part was really cool. Um, there was a scene where Nova and Ralph Angel were at the house, and Nova's like looking through. She's in the office, like looking through the drawers, looking for something. Come to find out, she was looking for probably some paperwork on the refrigerator because the refrigerator went out. But while she was looking for that, she saw a check for her dad from some company for like $600 and she's asking Ralph Angel, like, do you know who this company is? And Ralph was like, no, but the amount of money the check is for, it sounds like it's enough money to get in the refrigerator. Because of course they don't know where the check came from. It was just in his drawer. So yeah, we had that little part. We also see that's why I'm thinking like this episode wasn't really as good as I would have liked it to be, because there was a lot of little scenes. And for me, the little things were building up to the ending. So that's why I did like the episode, because the ending was great, but I'm building up to the end. So yeah, there was a scene with Hollywood and Vi talking, and Vi was basically trying to insinuate that she didn't want to go to the headstone, placement for her brother. She's like, went to the cemetery once, I don't need to go again. And she kind of walked out. And some people feel that way when it comes to, grieving the loss of a loved one. I have, of course, from family members who have passed away. I don't think I have ever been back to a cemetery. I don't know why though. Cause yeah, I haven't been back to a cemetery, but not. And I think the thing is, I think the reason I can understand what Vi means is I don't think you have to go to a cemetery to be close to that person. You can consistently talk to that person all the time. And luckily, for us, my father was cremated, so I don't have to go see a grave site. But I think if my parent passed away, that would be when I probably would go to a grave site. Even though I talk to my dad every day. So yeah, we had that whole thing, and Hollywood just trying to tell Vi, you can't be that way. That's your brother. You want to pay respects. This is headstone placement, and yeah. So we see Darla's a little bit frazzled as well. She spills coffee on herself, so her nice little work clothes now have coffee on them. And of course, she's the assistant to Charlie, so she's trying to look nice because it's the day of the mill opening up. Once Charlie sees she's messy, because you can see the coffee on her shirt, and Darla kind of looks frazzled, and she was just on the phone and the coffee spilled. Not a big deal. It's not like she wasn't doing a good job. So Charlie suggests for her to go get a change of clothes from Charlie's closet, basically. Um, she goes to Charlie's closet, and of course, when she sees the clothes, she's amazed. Not because it was just, oh my God, such a big closet, and oh my God, so many clothes, but just seeing, a couple of racks of clothes that are nice. Sometimes for a person who might not have the nicest thing, they might not be at that place in life. For them, it's still a surreal moment. So when she walks in, she picks up this beautiful dress, and she's, holding it up to herself, looking in the mirror, trying to see herself differently because she's had a hard life. So Micah walks in, and she fixes Micah tie, and Micah leaves, of course. So that isn't, that's cool. And as she's in the mirror, she holds the dress up to herself, and she takes her ponytail holder out. to let her hair down, just to be different. I thought that was a good thing because she used to be a drug addict. You know, she's probably not used to such a nice dress. Um, and it's probably the first time she's looking at herself in a different light, basically. Um, so that part was cool. We see a scene of Blue and well, Ralph Angel and Blue, in a convenience store, and they are just getting something, from the store, and the clerk is the same clerk from season one, where Ralph Angel, if you recall, he robbed a store to get money. And the clerk said to him when he robbed that store back in season one, I'll always remember your face. So when Ralph Angel looked up, she's like, it's you. I got fired because of you. And he's like, I don't know you. And you're a liar. And of course, he pays for himself, takes Blue, and he leaves. Because for him, that's an embarrassing moment. Solely because it probably reminds him of what he used to do. He's better now, but in the season premiere, Ralph Angel robbed the store. My little sexy daddy. Yeah. But yeah, he robbed the store, but he's a different person now. So for him, having Blue see that, and he was trying to shield Blue from who he used to be, what he used to do. So that's why he got out the store, oh so fast. And that was just different. We see a scene, yes, I'm going scene by scene. We see a scene with Nova, who tracks down the company where the check was from for her father. And she goes there and she finds out her father was actually working there. So her father was moonlighting, he wasn't only farming. And when she asked, well, what was, his job here? And the woman says, well, he was a janitor. And of course, that kind of hurts Nova's soul, or her spirit, because she feels like my father had to take a job as a janitor basically to make ends meet. And, he was very prideful over being a farmer. So he hid it from people because he probably didn't want anyone to know that he had to do that for money. And, the person gave Nova his things because she said, well, he didn't come back to work. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know how to contact anyone because, of course, he kept it a secret. So it was a little box, and the only thing in it was his work gloves and a picture of Blue. So sad. So, we had that whole scene. The meal opening was a success, basically. Charlie, of course, dedicated it to their father. She also recognized her siblings and helping to keep their father's legacy alive and to recognize what he would have wanted them to do. So that was a beautiful thing as well, So they opened the mill. It's a party there, basically. They had the other farmers bring their sugar cane to, as a representation of solidarity and, being together and all that stuff. And, so they're trying to make the sugar cane and everything. And the machine is like a little glitch in it where it stops working, and Charlie freaks out basically because for her it meant something wasn't going right. There was, something wasn't perfect, and she freaks out. And Nova and Remy and also her, Micah are trying to calm her down. And even though it was a private moment to where when she went in the back and she's trying to fix the machine, she's trying to pull the sugar cane out of the machine herself. Because to her, she's like, it has to be perfect. It has to be perfect. I don't want to wait for the workers to get it working again. I want to do it with my own two hands. But she's still freaking out as she's doing that. And as that moment is happening, the reporter, that nasty, nosy ass is in the back watching her have this complete meltdown moment behind the scenes, because of course in front of anyone else she's the picture of perfection. Everything is fine. She keeps her temper under control. She doesn't snap or she doesn't freak out, basically. So that's kind of how it was. So the reporter then talks to her and says he saw her freak out. He references how when she found out that Davis was involved in the sex scandal, how she walked out on the basketball court and basically cussed his ass out. Another moment when something wasn't perfect and she kind of snaps. So he's saying, well, that was a real moment, and he wants to write about real moments. He feels like she is a facade, and there's something behind the wall that she has put up, and he wants to write about that. So she makes him a deal. If you write about the meal me dedicated to my father, and leave my freak out of the story, I'll give you something else. And he's like, well, what can you give me? And then she lets him know, I'm divorcing Davis, and I'll give you the exclusive. Her and Davis are actually getting a divorce, but they don't want to announce it until it's final. So that might take a couple of months. So she's willing to give him that story to hide the fact that she had a freak out moment, because Charlie is a perfectionist. That's just what she does. And she rather talk about something that she has control over than let something that she lost control over be the story. So, yeah. We do see Charlie almost give Darla a drink. Darla's an alcoholic. She's in AA. She's been 2 years clean. She catches herself, of course, and apologizes and offers her like iced tea or something. Darla admits that she's, about to be 2 years sober, and she invites Charlie to her 2 years sober meeting. I thought that was brave of her, because she feels comfortable enough with Charlie to include her in that milestone in her life. She admits that Ralph Angel, of course, will be there, and so will Blue, but that she would like for Charlie to be there because Charlie's giving her a second chance by giving her this job. And Charlie thanks her for even considering it, and she says, yeah, but you're also helping me out because you're a good assistant. So, we have that whole thing. The family has the stone placement ceremony, and the whole family is there. We see Blue drop his dog, Kenya, and for some reason he doesn't immediately pick the doll back up. So we then see the next scene of Blue in the house hiding behind the curtain, and he says to Ralph Angel, that's not Kenya. And he's like, I put a birthmark on her right there, and she's not there anymore. That's not her. Do you know where she went? And Ralph Angel finally is honest with Blue and says, well, you know what? Darla. Kenya got thrown away. He doesn't say what happened. He doesn't say how it happened. So he doesn't ruin the relationship between Darla and Blue. I'm pretty sure Blue knew that Darla threw it away. He would be upset at his mother because he loved that doll. And so Ralph doesn't tell him that part. But Blue does ask Ralph Angel, why did that store clerk call you a liar? And he said, well, it doesn't matter because I'm not lying anymore. Next scene. What is the part of this, what I liked? Ralph Angel saying he's no longer going to be a liar. I knew this was going to probably happen once he said that. So he was saying grace. The whole family's there. Nova, Charlie, Micah, Aunt Vi, Hollywood, Blue, and Darla. And as he's saying grace and saying how his father would have been proud of him, how his father just wanted him to be a better man, and he felt like he's on that path, he then says, I've been lying to y'all. And Aunt Vi tries to deter him from saying what he's going to say because she knows. And he does say, yeah, I found a will, father wrote in his own handwriting. It was after the will that he had with his lawyers, and it would be actually his last will. And in it, he leaves the land to me, just me, and I've known for a couple of months. Aunt Vi tells Micah to take, Blue outside because she knows it's about to get real. Charlie, of course, is upset because, as Charlie says, I uprooted my life to be here because we were told the land was left to us, all of us, and Daddy wanted us all to do this together. So I basically changed my whole life for a lie because that's not what he wanted. What he wanted was for you to do it. You knew it, and you didn't tell me, and you used me for the money that I've put into the land. And he's like, that's not how it is. And Darla says, that's not how it is either. So that's when they find out Aunt Vi knew, and so did Darla. Not that they knew for a long time, but they still knew. When they asked, Ralph Angel, well, how long did you know? When did you find this will? And he says, a few months ago. So again, you've been lying on this time. And then Nova, who's sitting there quiet, she then says, you know, Dad worked himself to death. Dad had a second job as a janitor. He was scrubbing floors and picking up other people's trash to take care and put clothes on your back and your son Blue's back. So Nova's pissed because the day before she found out her father was a janitor and was working a second job. He had a heart attack or a stroke when he died from. So of course you feel like a person was working themselves to death. Because their son wasn't a good parent and he had to take care of not only his own son but his son's son, his grandchild. So he did what he had to do. He became a janitor, and he's like, he did everything he could for you because you was a fuck up, Ralph Angel. And Ralph Angel feels like they can't put that on him, but it's true. You know what I'm saying? You were not a good parent with person and the parent. That's why Vi had custody of Blue. You was in jail, and to help make ends meet, your father worked as a janitor, and he didn't farm the land. So for each sibling, it was a hard truth to recognize. Ralph Angel's response, of course, was to Charlie. You can't say anything because you were living high up in California. You was living a rich life. And Nova, you cared about every brother except your own brother. Of course, because as we know, Nova is consistently always trying to help other black men who are in prison, but he's insinuating that she didn't help him. And she says, because you put yourself in jail. And I guess that's the thing of saying it's a difference between someone doing something wrong and getting arrested and going to jail versus someone who's being railroaded and is innocent and I'm trying to help them. But if my own brother is a criminal and if my own brother did what he did, I can't say free my brother because my brother did that shit. And so it's, even him saying, I know y'all think I'm the screw up of the family y'all don't like. It was just a real moment between siblings who may have been holding things in and now that their secret is out. And it does seem like you knew the land was just yours, but that you really couldn't do it on your own. And you kind of waited to tell us. That's how it came off. It was just so real to see them all have their different reactions. But mainly Nova and Charlie both being upset with Ralph Angel. And not even upset, just hurt. Because it's also a thing of our father didn't leave it to us. He left it to Ralph Angel. Because Ralph Angel needed it more because Charlie had her life together. Nova, for the most part, had her life together. Even with Ralph Angel saying to them, Nova, you live 20 minutes away and you weren't here. And Nova jumped up and got pissed and was like, hold up. Your ass wasn't here either. You know what I'm saying? So you can't make it seem as if you were the only one here. And that's not true because, again, Ralph Angel, you was locked up. So, Nova trying to leave, Charlie trying to leave. And Aunt Vi steps in and she's like, no one's leaving. Y'all ain't going nowhere. And, Nova's like, you can't stop me. And she is like, I said no one's going anywhere. We're not going to leave here until this is situated. She wants them to get it fixed. There's nothing worse than siblings who have some kind of disagreement and then they leave without fixing it or without coming to some kind of common ground or kind of having any kind of communication. So that's how the episode ended. But it was just crazy at how he told them and how each of them had a different reaction of just hurt and confusion and just anger, but that's real life. So that was my review of Queen Sugar, episode 6, season 2. If you have not done so already, please take a moment and subscribe to my channel. Like my videos, share my videos, comment. You can look at my other videos that I have on my channel. I do different shows. So until next time, I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. Hopefully the next time you see me in a video, well, no, because I have to do one more video today. So tomorrow, new videos. I will probably have my hair back up in my bun, which I miss so much. So hey, thanks everyone. Peace.